Ever been slapped with an HOA fine that made 0 sense? Yeah, you're not alone. These HOAs think they can fine you for anything: a mailbox color, a flower pot, even your car in the driveway. But here's the thing. Most homeowners don't realize there are legal loopholes and simple tricks to fight back and win. I've seen people get thousands in fines completely erased using these hacks, and the HOA couldn't do a thing about it. So before you pay another dime to your HOA, watch this to the end, because I'm about to show you 5 legal hacks that'll make your HOA think twice before messing with you again.
HOAs were supposed to protect communities, keep neighborhoods clean, safe, organized. But lately, they've turned into mini dictatorships, handing out ridiculous fines for the smallest things. I've seen people fined for having the wrong shade of grass, a trash can left out for an hour, or even a flagpole in their own yard. And when you question them, they throw around words like violation and bylaws, hoping you'll just pay up and shut up. But here's what they don't want you to know. Most of those fines can actually be challenged, waived, or completely overturned if you know how to fight back the right way. See, HOAs count on one thing: your fear. They assume you won't read the rules, won't question the paperwork, and won't stand up for yourself. That's where they lose, because once you understand your rights, you hold all the power. I've helped homeowners who got hundreds in fines, gone overnight. Some even got apologies from their HOA boards once they used these tricks. And the best part? Every single method I'm about to share is 100% legal. No shady loopholes, no breaking rules, just smart, strategic moves they don't expect. So whether you're being fined for a mailbox color, your car in the driveway, or a few weeds on the lawn, stick around, because these 5 legal hacks might just save you hundreds of dollars and your sanity. Ready? Let's start with hack number 1. And trust me, this one alone could change how you deal with your HOA forever.
Hack number 1. Know the rules better than the HOA does. Most homeowners never read their HOA's bylaws or CC&Rs, and that's exactly what the HOA counts on. Because the less you know, the easier it is for them to fine you without question. But here's the truth. 70% of HOA fines come from rules that are misinterpreted or applied incorrectly. That means if you know what's actually written, you can challenge their fine, and in many cases, win. So, the first legal hack is simple. Read their rule book like a lawyer. Go through the CC&Rs, that's the covenants, conditions, and restrictions, and highlight every section about violations, fines, and appeal rights. You'd be shocked how many HOAs violate their own rules when fining homeowners. They'll skip warning letters, ignore appeal windows, or fine you for something that isn't even covered in their bylaws. Example: one homeowner I talked to was fined $250 for parking on the street overnight. But when he checked the CC&Rs, it said no long-term street parking over 72 hours. He sent a written notice quoting their own document. And guess what? Fine dismissed instantly. And here's the secret weapon. Always ask for written documentation of the rule you supposedly broke. If they can't show it in writing, that fine is built on sand. This first hack is all about flipping the power dynamic. Once they realize you've actually read the book, they tread carefully because they know you can call them out. So, before paying any fine, remember this: knowledge is your shield. Know their rules better than they do, and you've already won half the battle. All right, now that you've got your defense ready, let's talk about hack number 2, where you turn their own paperwork into your best weapon. Hack number 2, use their paperwork against them. Every HOA fine starts with paperwork: a notice of violation, a warning letter, or sometimes a simple email. And most people panic when they get it. They either pay up or argue emotionally. But here's the secret. The paperwork itself is often their biggest mistake. By law, HOAs must follow a strict process when issuing fines. That means written notice, proof of violation, and a clear explanation of your right to a hearing. Miss any one of those steps and the fine becomes legally invalid. I've seen homeowners completely erase fines just by asking for one simple thing. Please provide proof that you followed all required notice procedures. That one sentence can make the board freeze because often they didn't. Let's say they fined you for yard maintenance. Ask for time-stamped photos, the violation report, and the exact rule number you supposedly broke. If they can't provide those, it's a weak case, and you can request the fine be dismissed on procedural grounds. And if they send letters with no signature or missing dates, that's gold. It shows improper notice, which can legally void the fine. Most HOAs hate when you catch these errors because it proves you're paying attention. Here's another tip. Always respond in writing, email, or certified mail. It creates a paper trail. That way, if they escalate the fine or threaten legal action, you've got evidence showing they didn't follow their own process. The goal isn't to be rude, it's to be precise. When you stay calm, professional, and back up your words with their own rules, the HOA suddenly loses all that false authority. So, hack number 2 is simple. Don't argue, document. Use their paperwork, their words, and their process against them. Because when the facts are on your side, the HOA's power starts to crumble. Up next, hack number 3, where I'll show you how to use one small meeting to turn the entire board in your favor. Hack number 3, show up to the hearing and control the room. Most homeowners skip their HOA hearing because they think it's pointless, that the board has already made its mind. But here's the truth, those meetings are your biggest weapon. Why? Because when you show up, the dynamic changes completely. HOAs are used to people staying silent or arguing over email, but when you walk into that room calm, prepared, and professional, it throws them off balance. They realize you're not just another angry homeowner, you're someone who knows your rights. Before your hearing, prepare 3 things. 1. A copy of the fine notice. 2. The section of the bylaws that applies. And 3. Any proof or photos that back up your side. Bring them printed, not digital. Paper in hand makes you look serious and credible. Then, when it's your turn to speak, start strong and polite. I'm here to clarify this violation and request the fine be removed based on Section X of the HOA's rules. Simple, factual, no emotion. It shows confidence, and it forces the board to engage logically, not personally. Here's the kicker. These hearings are often recorded or have minutes taken. That means anything they say can later be used in your favor if they mishandle it. One wrong statement from them, like ignoring your right to appeal, can invalidate their entire decision. And if they try to rush you or talk over you, stay calm. Say, "I'd like that on record, please." That one line reminds them this is official, and suddenly they start choosing their words very carefully. I've seen people walk out of those meetings with fines reversed, apologies issued, and even new respect from the board, all because they showed up prepared. Remember, confidence and clarity always beat fear and frustration. So, hack number 3 is simple. Don't hide, show up. When you walk into that hearing armed with facts, the HOA loses its favorite weapon, your silence. Next, we'll move to hack number 4, where I'll show you how to use public records to keep your HOA accountable for every decision they make. Hack number 4, use public records to keep your HOA accountable. Here's something most homeowners don't realize. Your HOA isn't some secret organization. They're a registered legal entity, and by law, most of what they do is a matter of public record. That means you can see exactly how they operate, and sometimes how they break their own rules. Every HOA has to keep official records, budgets, meeting minutes, fine logs, and even correspondence about community decisions. And as a paying member, you have the right to inspect or request copies of those documents. This isn't snooping. It's your legal right as part of the association. Why does this matter? Because when an HOA fines you, they must have documentation showing how they decided it. If they can't produce that, or if the records show the board didn't follow procedure, that fine can be challenged and thrown out. For example, one homeowner requested meeting minutes after getting fined for a landscaping violation. Turns out the board never even voted on it. The president just decided on his own. Once she pointed that out using their own records, the fine disappeared within a week. So, how do you access this info? Start with your HOA's management company or board secretary. Ask politely in writing, "I'd like to review the association's meeting minutes and fine records related to my violation." They're legally required to provide them within a certain time frame, usually 10 to 30 days. If they ignore you, remind them that transparency laws protect homeowners from board secrecy. In most states, refusing access can actually put the HOA in violation of state law, not you. That's when they start cooperating quickly. And the best part? Once they know you're reviewing records, they get cautious. They realize you're not just another easy target. You're informed, watching, and documenting everything they do. So, hack number 4 is all about accountability. Use their own records to make sure they follow the rules, because once the HOA knows you can see everything, they'll think twice before handing you another fine. Next, we'll finish strong with hack number 5, the move that can permanently stop unfair HOA harassment for good. Hack number 5, get everything in writing and build your paper trail. HOAs love to give verbal warnings or make side comments like, "Don't worry, we'll waive that fine," or "You don't need to appeal." But unless it's in writing, it doesn't exist. And when things escalate, they'll deny ever saying it. Written communication, whether by email or certified mail, is your protection. It creates a timeline, proof of what was said and when. That's crucial if you ever need to prove they acted unfairly or ignored procedure. Here's the power move. Whenever you talk to the HOA, follow up with a quick message. "Thanks for the call today. Just confirming what we discussed, that the fine will be reviewed at next week's meeting." One email like that locks the conversation into record. If they go back on their word later, you've got it documented. And don't just rely on your inbox. Make a folder for every HOA notice, every letter, every receipt. Name them by date. If a dispute ever goes further, small claims court, mediation, whatever, that organized trail can destroy their case instantly. I've seen people win against HOAs simply because they had a clear, documented history of communication, while the board had nothing but verbal claims and missing notes. Paper beats power, every time. And remember, when everything's in writing, they have to behave. They know their words could come back to bite them, so they tread lightly. That's how you shift the balance from fear to control.
So hack number 5 is your final shield. Document everything. Protect yourself. Because when you've got proof, you've already won. Now, let's wrap this up. Because if you've made it this far, you're no longer just a homeowner. You're someone the HOA will think twice before ever messing with again. You see, the HOA only wins when you stay silent, when you let fear or frustration make you give in. But now you know the truth. They're not untouchable. You have rights, you have leverage, and you have tools they never expected you to use. With these 5 legal hacks, knowing the rules, using their paperwork, showing up, checking records, and documenting everything, you've got a playbook that most homeowners don't even know exists. And that knowledge, that's your power. So the next time an HOA letter shows up in your mailbox, don't panic, smile, because you'll know exactly what to do step by step to make them back down and follow their own rules for once. If this video helped you, hit that like button so more homeowners can learn these tricks too. Drop a comment below if you've ever fought an unfair HOA fine. I want to hear your story. And make sure to subscribe because I've got more real HOA battles, crazy stories, and smart strategies coming next week. You don't have to let the HOA run your life. Stand up, stay informed, and take your community back one rule at a time. This is HOA Horror Stories. Thanks for watching, and remember, knowledge beats power
every single time.